Hello there. Hope you are doing well. So here we have another question from the same passage, and the direction for question is answer the following question based on the information given below. As we understood the text, let's move to the question. So the question stated here about global north and the global south dynamics. The author could be list likely agree, right? So when we say that the author could possibly least likely agree that. So we can point out that the question is about which statement the author would be least likely to agree with concerning the, you can say that dynamics between global north and global south, right? Now, look into the choice given here. Uh, if we say that what the first choice stated about global south voices are more visible today due to accessible information media, right? That is what given. If we see that the passage supports this, right? Supports this statement. So the author is possibly to agree with. Uh, as far as the passage indicates that information media have made global south voices more visible today. So the author would likely agree with this statement, isn't it? So uh, let's move to the second one. The second one stated that the global north always recognized the ideological multipolarity. Now, this one indicate about what? Um, the global north always recognized the ideological multipolarity. Now, in that case, the passage, if I say here, uh, what does it try to say? The passage suggests that recognition of ideological, ideological multipolarity by the global north evolved over time. Evolved over time. It indicates that what? Uh, it indicates that changed over time, right? So you can also say that not that it was always recognized, right? Not that it is always recognized. So the word always is indicating a kind of means, inappropriate to the sentence. So we can say that uh, the author would be not likely or less likely agree with such statement, right? Because it is stated the global north always recognize the ideological multipolarity. We find out that um, it changed over time, not that it always recognized. So we can say that the passage does not suggest that the global north always recognize ideological multipolarity. It indicates that this recognition changed. The author would be less likely to agree with this statement. So we can consider option 2 would be the correct. Look at the third. Decolonized territories contributed to the international conversation about world order, right? Now, this is supported by the passage. So the author would agree with this statement because decolonization and power reconstruction led to an explosion of new worldviews, highlighting that power and spheres of influence would come only to those with an ideological project aimed at convincing a mass audience. So decolonization, colonized territory contributed to the international conversation about world order, which in which the author mm, agree with her. So, as far as the passage mentions that decolonized territories played a significant role in shaping international discussion about uh, world order, right? So the author would agree with this statement. Uh, so this cannot be called as a list likely. The author likely agree with. So for the concept of modernity has been inclusive of both the global north and south from the Enlightenment. Now, if I say that the passage acknowledge that decolonized territories have been part of the international conversation about modernity, modernity since the Enlightenment, since the Enlightenment. enlightenment, isn't it? So the author would likely agree with this statement, um, as the passage supports the idea of that modernity has included both uh, global north and south from we can say that south perspective. So the author would likely agree with this statement. Hence, we can say option two would be less likely agree with, because the passage does not support the idea that the global north always recognized ideological multipolarity. Instead, it suggests that this recognition developed over time, over time, right? So, hence, we can say option three would be the answer here. Hope you understood this. That's all.